And so today, John's third recorded sign he gives us is about a man who is accustomed to some things in his life. Do you ever get accustomed to things in your life? You just sort of feel like this is just sort of how it is. And some of us don't really like it when our customary life changes. We don't do so well with change. This man had got accustomed to some things in his life, and he was unaccustomed to hell. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Speaking on the subject, Jesus for the helpless. Jesus for the helpless. 2 weeks ago we talked about how it's Jesus, or last week, Jesus for everyone. And so today we're talking about Jesus for the helpless. Well, let's dive right in to John chapter 5 and verse 1. He says that, and this, after this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is in Jerusalem by the sheep gate a pool, which is called in Hebrew Bethesda, having 5 porches. Now, that word Bethesda is actually spelled differently every time it's mentioned in the Bible. But they all refer to this one place, Bethesda, because it had 5 porches or colonnades around it. In these porches lay a great multitude of sick people, blind, lame, paralyzed, waiting for the moving of the water in the pool. For an angel went down at a certain time into the pool and stirred up the water. Then whoever stepped in first after the stirring of the water was made well of whatever disease he had. Now a certain man was there who had an infirmity or a weakness 38 years. And when Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he'd already had been in that condition a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be made well?" And the sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no man to put me into the pool when the water is stirred. But while I am coming, another steps down before me." And Jesus said to him, "Rise, take up your bed and walk." And immediately the man was made well, took up his bed and walked. And that day was the Sabbath. And so here Jesus encounters a man who, as I said, is accustomed to some things, and he's unaccustomed to hell. First thing is we talk about how he is accustomed. He is accustomed to his circumstances. You see, he's got used to living in the condition he was in. Right away we see that this applies to a lot of us, because a lot of us get accustomed to living in the condition we're in. Whether it be a certain house, whether it be driving a certain car, maybe even a job. But it may be that we get accustomed to some negative things in our life. We get accustomed to some things that have disappointed us, but we've been unable to change. It may be that we get accustomed to certain ways of doing things and certain ways of looking at life. In fact, sometimes we get accustomed to negative things about our spirit and about our spirit man, and we just live with those things. Well, what do we see about this man? First of all, we see that he's disabled. He could not walk as other men walk. Now, it appears that he could get up, but he couldn't make his way to the pool fast enough. And the Scripture tells us that he's been in this condition for 38 years. What that means is that he had been in this condition longer than Jesus had been on earth. Now, some of you here today have been in the condition you're in for a long time. You've just learned to deal with it. You may have a vice that you hate, but you just come to accept it. It may be an attitude, such as anger or fits, uncontrollable anger, that you just come to accept it. You say that old statement, this is the way I was, my daddy was this way, and my mom was this way, and I've always been this way, and this is the way I'm going to be. You've gotten used to the circumstance. It may be that some sin has become a regular sin in your life. It's one of those things you hate it, and you certainly don't want anybody else to know about it. But you're just used to it, and it's easier to keep doing it than it is to quit. It's easier to stay with it than it is to go to God and confess it. You can keep coming to church, you can sing the songs, you can carry your Bible, you can go to Sunday school, you can give your offering, but all the while there's this thing that in your heart of hearts you know God is displeased with it. You see, we get used to those things. Do your head like this. That's true. Sure it is. I know, because I've lived this life. I know what it is to be a Christian for a long time. And I know what it is to live with issues that I have not resolved. But you know, more than the fact that Christians feel this way, a lot of times lost people feel this way. It's easier to keep going in their condition than it is to change. I mean, they use phrases like, well, those people down there, they wouldn't love me if they knew me. They say, you know, I've got this issue and they would never accept me. I don't, you know, they begin to offer a myriad of excuses to why they can't worship and can't come to God. And there's a lot of people who don't know the Lord, who are disabled, maybe not physically, but in their spirit. Their spirit, in fact, the Bible tells us that we're dead in our trespasses and sins. They're not only disabled, they're dead. But then there's a lot of people who know the Lord that are out of church. And they just come to the idea that, you know what, I can love Jesus right here and I don't have to deal with those church people. Sad. It's very sad. To live your life without God is one thing. But after all, you never really miss something you never have. But to die without God is a terrible thing. See, for a lost person, they get used to living without Him. They get used to operating according to their senses. They get used to their vices. They get used to all these things. But you know what? Dying without God is so much worse than living without Him. We need to keep that in mind. And so, this man was disabled. He got used to it. Secondly, he was desperate. There was a desperation, but without hope. Because the very fact that he was at the pool is proof that he's desperate for healing. There was probably a time, probably many, many times, when the water would be troubled. And I don't have an explanation for that other than just what the Scripture says. But there were many times that he probably got up and started making his way, maybe dragging a leg or hobbling, as some people can do with cerebral palsy or MS or some of these debilitating diseases. And doing that, and before he could ever get there, somebody would get in before him. No doubt, there might have been a time when he was very close to the pool, and he got up and he thought, sure, I'm going to get there this time. And there's somebody stepped right in front of him. So, not only was he disabled and desperate, he was disappointed. Life disappointed him. Nothing to look forward to. What did he have to look forward to except laying in that colonnade day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year? You know what? When we get used to circumstances, that's the way we live. And certainly that's the way a lost person lives. Nothing really to look forward to. Oh, you know, a lost person sometimes, or maybe even you, will sometimes say, you know, if I win the lottery, then that's going to solve all my problems. Or if I marry the right person, that's going to fix everything. If I get the right kind of house, or the right kind of car, or the right kind of job. Can I tell you something? All those outward things cannot fix what's on the inside of us.
Amen.
You see, this man's problem was not his condition. And it was not others who got in ahead of him. This man's problem was a hopelessness. He was suffering from a hopelessness. He was surrounded by others in the same shape as him, and they could offer him no comfort. A lost person cannot comfort a lost person. And somebody who is even a Christian who is in a terrible vice or a terrible situation, you can never truly comfort someone. You see, in that situation, it was every man for himself. And isn't that the way the lost world lives? Isn't that the way the lost world lives?
Mm-hmm.
It's every man for himself. Yeah, I want you to have it, but I need it worse. I need it. And so this man knew what it was to be disabled. He knew what it was to be desperate. And he knew what it was to be disappointed. But sadly, he was accustomed to those circumstances. You say, well, how do you know? Because Jesus walked up to him. He said, do you want to be made whole? Do you want to be made whole? You see, he was unaccustomed to compassion. He wasn't used to anybody taking any interest in him. You know, when I think about the people that we encounter that are lost, that live in this community, we're not used to anybody taking any interest in them. In fact, when you do, they sort of look at you strange, as if to say, what's your angle? What do you want from me? There's nothing free. You're trying to trick me or scheme me. You see, he was unaccustomed to compassion, and he could not conceive that Jesus was now going to show him compassion. And the reason I say this is because the scripture that we read does not really indicate that he trusted Christ. In fact, he accepted what Jesus said and he stood up. He experienced the healing. But when you go on and you read the next 4 or 5 verses, he didn't even know who healed him. They asked him, who healed you? He said, this is man. He had no faith in a personal Savior. He was unaccustomed to compassion. And, you know, that's the way we live a lot of times. We forget that there are other people who feel like we feel. Who have experienced what we've experienced or are experiencing. And they actually care. That should be the hallmark of the church, is that we actually show one another that we really care. And that we do not judge those who are caught in sinful lifestyles. He says that we should bear one another's burdens and help them up. And then they will bear their own burdens. Paul said in Galatians. And so we see here Jesus' compassion pictured in 3 ways. First of all, we see His compassion is pictured in that He chooses the sinful. And if you're here today, obviously you're here. Those of you who are here and you have a sinful situation in your life, one of those ongoing things, one of those things you hold on to, one of those things that you can't trust God for. I want you to know Jesus has chosen you today. He's chosen you. He's put you under the sound of this message, and He wants to speak to your heart. If you're here today and you've never been saved, you're lost in your sins, I want you to know you've been chosen today.
Amen.
To trust Christ as Savior, to receive eternal life. According to what the Bible has to say here, there was a great multitude of people there that day, and Jesus could have gone up to any person in that place. Yet for whatever reason it was, He went to this man. I want you to know this was nothing but pure, amazing grace. It was the grace of God. And I want you to know it's the grace of God that any of us today have come into a saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. Because we didn't deserve it. We couldn't be good enough. We couldn't get our act together enough. Because we still don't have our act together enough. Say amen.
Amen.
Because it is the grace of God who saved us. When we were at our worst, He gave His best.
Yes.
And so, by grace, He comes into our life and works the work of salvation in our hearts, according to Romans. And this is grace and grace alone. We've done nothing to deserve it. We don't deserve His love. We've done nothing to earn our salvation. We've done nothing to even make God notice us. Yet He chooses to love us just because He is God. And the good news is, you can't make Him love you anymore, and you cannot make Him love you any less. He loves you. He loves you. He loves you.
Amen.
And so I praise the Lord today that He chose me. September 30th, 1979, at Olivia Baptist Church, Bill Worley preached, and he stomped and snorted and sweated like a ball player. And I couldn't tell you a word he said. But the Holy Spirit dealt with my heart. And I've got good news for you. I resisted the invitation. I didn't go down. I didn't even know it that day until I saw him. But my older brother and his wife were there that day. They were saved in the altar that day. Linda rededicated her life. My brother was saved. After church, preacher stood at the back door. Y'all have heard me tell this. I'm walking out and he said, "Son," yeah, I'm sure it was all over my face. He said, "Have you ever been saved?" I said, "No." He said, "Would you like to be?" I said, "Yeah." He stepped over there. He led me to the Lord.
Amen.
I want you to know we need to say yes to Jesus today. Whether we're lost and we've never trusted Him, the answer is yes. If we're here today and sin grips our life, we need to say yes. If we're here today and we've lost hope that things will ever be different, say yes. If we're here today, no matter what the situation in our life, no matter what we're facing, no matter what we've been through, He is God and God alone. You can bless His name in the darkness. You can bless His name on the mountaintop. Say yes.
Amen.
And so I praise the Lord that when He chose me, He could have passed by and left me lost and bound for hell, but He didn't. Now, I don't mean to imply that He chose me and rejected others, any more than He chose this man and rejected others. But it was my day, and it was this man's day. And I want you to know today, if you're lost, it is your day. It's your day. If you're here today and sin, you've become sinful in an activity, and it gouges at you every time you come to God's house. It keeps you awake at night. And that alone may be the sinfulness. Worry. Oh, yeah, I said it. The sin of worry. See, when you're worried, you're not trusting.
That's right.
And it keeps you up at night, whatever the situation may be. Friend, I want you to know, He has chosen to stop by and speak to your heart today. And the answer is yes. Do you want to be made whole? Yes. Do you want to be healed? Yes. Do you want to be relieved from this burden? Yes. Jesus chooses the sinful. I purposely used that word rather than choosing the sinner because I didn't want us just to think He just chooses the lost person. Because He chooses the sinful. He has a day for all of us to be free from that which holds us. Hallelujah. That when I got saved, He didn't just do that work that day, but He brought His Holy Spirit into my life, and the preaching of God's Word has worked in my life, and He continues to set me free from vices and from habits and from attitudes. Those are the worst of all. I'm freer today than I've ever been. Thank God for His continuing work. He chooses the sinful. Secondly, not only does He choose the sinful, He cares for the sinful. Jesus knew everything there was to know about this man. Jesus knows how he got in that condition. And by the way, when you read verses 10 and following, you see that he probably wasn't born that way. Jesus knows how he got in that condition. Jesus knows how long he'd been in that condition. Jesus knows how he was unable to stand. And how many times he tried to stand and carry his bed. But Jesus knew that this man was totally dependent on others for everything he had in life. And he reached out to him. That, again, is a picture of grace. The word Bethsaida means house of, guess what? Grace. It's house of grace. So he's laying there in that pool, by that pool. He's in the house of grace, and the God of all grace comes to him, and amazing grace comes into his life. He stands up, and he finds healing.
Yes.
Jesus knows all about your condition, and He knows all about my condition. He knows all about the sinner's condition. You see, sometimes we look at the sinner and we think they won't come to Jesus because of this. Well, the truth is you don't know about their condition, but God knows more than you know. He knows. You see, you just see one area, but God knows the longing in the heart. God knows the heartbreak that maybe you don't know about. He cares for the sinful. And then finally, Jesus chooses, or comes to the sinful, I should say. It was the greatest move of all. Jesus literally comes to where this poor man is lying and reaches out to him in genuine grace and love. It isn't until He actually comes to us that we have the opportunity for salvation. And today, maybe you're lost and He's come to you. But today also, you're in a sinful state of being. And Jesus has come to you. There are three ways Jesus comes to the sinful. In my close. He comes as a sacrifice. He's already done that. He already sacrificed His life. The Bible says He became sin for us. He took our sin upon Himself. That's how He atoned for our sins. He took our sin upon Himself and He died on the cross, conquering sin. He comes a Savior, not only to sacrifice and to die, but He comes to redeem and to rescue and to give He gives us eternal life. He rescues us from that which holds us and gives us eternal life. And if you reject that, I want you to know He comes as a sovereign. What I mean by that is when you reject Jesus, you'll face Him again as judge.
Yep.
And today, if you're here and you've never trusted Christ, and you walk out of this service and you reject Him, you don't know. You may say, well, I'll do it better. I'll do it next week. I'll do it later. You might not have that opportunity. He comes as judge, and you'll face Him as judge, and then it's too late. But if you're here and you're a Christian, I want to show Him, He's going to say, why did you reject me? Why did you live in that sinful condition? Now, you're not going to lose your salvation, but you're going to lose rewards as one who's tried by fire, according to Paul in 1 Corinthians. If He's not received as sovereign and as Savior, you'll have to accept that He's the judge. Jesus asked this man if he would like to be healed. This man is guilty of the same thing that many of us are guilty of, and many of the lost are guilty of. He confused the physical with the spiritual. Jesus came to offer him physical healing from a spiritual source, but this man still had his eye on physical only. When the man responded to Jesus' command, he was immediately healed. He was able to get up and walk. This miracle or sign required no input from this man. He didn't have to do anything except obey what Jesus said. He didn't have to earn it. He didn't have to work it up. He didn't have to do anything except take Jesus at His word. See, Jesus has the power to take any life that's broken. Any life that's broken. Any life that's broken. And ruined by sin. No matter how long it's been. Maybe you've been carrying it for a long, long time. Some hurt that's kept you from doing what God wants you to do. Some unforgiveness. He's able to take it and make it over again. Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creation. All things are passed away. Behold, the new has come. He wants to make it new. Today, Jesus has showed up with compassion for you, and He's asking, what do you want me to do?